Welcome to episode 3 of the Crazy Geezer podcast, and today I have handsome Dany Langston here today. How you doing, dude?
Handsome Danny at your service. Doing fantastic. So glad to be with you.
Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. I had a blast meeting you at was it the New Jersey Horror Con a couple weeks ago, and you wore that looks like a rhinestone jacket.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to, man. Party atmosphere, dressing for the occasion and meeting so many great people. It was great to see you there, to meet you. And just so many of the people that it's amazing we haven't met sooner because we just know so many of the same great people. And yeah, it just had a great time. It was my first time there, actually. So I can't wait to go back.
Well, if this is your first con, it will not be your last.
Well, I heard that in the Atlantic City for that one that they were right, they were taking a break from it. So that particular one, I did start going to cons late in life, relatively late in life, but New Jersey was definitely the first one for me there.
Me too, coincidentally.
Really?
I think I've been to Philly and Maryland, but never New Jersey. I went there via an invite from Ron Black and Chris App from Black App Films, who did was it Swine and Dine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. There's a wild one. There's a wild one. I was telling Ron just how much that movie made an impact on me. Even just the little bit that I saw, he was sharing it. Man, what a fantastic film! Cannot wait to sit down and watch the whole completed thing.
You're not the only one. In fact, I'm in close contact with both Ron and Chris, so they're going to let me. I'll be the first to know if anything, like when the movie's going to come out and when the premiere is going to be, and how you can obtain and and if you need details, I'm happy to share offline.
Cool. Yeah.
So okay, so I met you at the Crimson Harvest table. Let's talk about that.
All right. Yeah. So Crimson Harvest is this awesome movie that we are actually in the middle of making. It's without giving too much away. Just think, killer scarecrow. And is he real or is he not real? Is he the figment of one or more person's imagination? Does he become real? Is anybody safe around him? All of those wonderful questions need to be answered in Crimson Harvest. There's a family, and there's some trouble that shows up, and we've got a granddaughter who insists that she walks and talks with the scarecrow, and it's just a fascinating premise from Xander Goldman. And I got to play Tom Green, one of the basically the main loyal like farmhand. So the grandpa of the family is the owner, and he's my boss. And so we have a lot of scenes where we're dealing with these guys that come in and start some crap with us.
Okay, so I have to ask the stupid question: Who's directed the movie?
Xander Goldman.
Oh, Xander.
Yeah, Xander. So Xander,
It's funny. I met
in
him
fact,
right after I met you, and he's like one of the nicest guys.
yeah, yeah,
So I didn't mean
fantastic.
to interrupt.
No, one of my favorite people, Xander, and so it was really great working with him. Now we're going to go back in September and finish up the movie on the farm. So we were actually filming on location at this 150-acre farm up in the Garden State, northern part of New Jersey, northwest New Jersey, and there's going to be corn when we go back in September and film, and we're going to need that for the atmosphere. And we've got some like before, kind of like pre-story to tell, and then we've got some epilogue to tell, and so it's really gonna fill in and like tie it all together real nice.
So it sounds like a psychological slasher
Yes.
movie.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And make no mistake of it. There will be singing now. This thing I absolutely cannot get too specific, but uh, uh, there will be amazing effects that we have not seen before. That we have not, nobody has put this on film before. If you think about some of the there will be some gruesome, some delightfully gruesome and creative ways that people get taken care of from time to time. One in particular, but not just that one. It's really nice to be part of something that's fresh, something that's on fire with creativity, and the goal is let's not only do our best, but let's do some new things instead of just like trotting the same old ground. And so that's what I really love about it.
Keeps the ideas fresh.
Yeah, absolutely,
That,
absolutely.
that
That's one of
that's
the
great
best things
because
about it.
you get stuck doing the same thing over and over. It tends to get bored.
Exactly, exactly. So this definitely brings a lot new. There are a lot of reasons to check this one out when it gets released, which would likely be sometime next year.
And I'm pretty sure before that I'll have Xander on the show. He already agreed, just like you did.
Awesome. Oh, that's
You know,
great.
it's just right now he's just super busy. Working on multiple projects like you are. And I said, well, let me crank through a few episodes, including yours. And yours, by the way, is episode 3, and that's your lucky number.
Episode 3. Yes, it is. It is a number that has insisted on following me around and being my lucky number. Even on my IMDb, I'm Dany Langston with the 3 because apparently there were a couple of imitators that showed up before I did, and so and I already was noticing a pattern before then. I just thought, of course, I'm Dany Langston 3 on IMDb because the number had already started haunting me.
So just call yourself Handsome Danny Langston, which it should say on your IMDb name, but
That's what it should say. Yes, and I have it under nickname. Yes, we're gonna have to do something about that. Yeah, yeah. The handsome Danny. Yes, that's it. Sometimes the name picks you as well as the numbers that haunt you. Are you haunted by? You said that you're haunted by a number, right? Or
no,
no?
I just said that 3, 7, and 11 are just three of my favorite lucky numbers.
Favorite lucky numbers. Okay, cool, cool. Well, I
You've
respect
heard the
that. That's
expression
not
third
as
time's a
morbid as
charm.
being
I believe
haunted.
in that very heavily.
Yeah, cool.
All right. All right. So Crimson Harvest will be out next year. You're going to be shooting again in September. Any
Yep.
other movies you've been working on recently?
Oh, we're I'm on location right now in Texas. We are kind of at a standstill because of unforeseen events. But we are working on Circus Satanicus right now, which has been all over Facebook. It's gotten a lot of buzz, and we have just a fantastic cast of actors and actresses. And we came here ready to play ball. We had met several times on Zoom and really formed a strong bond, strong camaraderie before even meeting in person. Even though some of us had worked together before, most of us not. Certainly not the entire group. And so it wasn't like meeting new people when we all got here. It was like seeing family again, and that's really the atmosphere of it. We did have, and this has hit the social media, so I can talk a little bit about it. Our director suffered an unfortunate incident where he fell he fell from a decent. I'm not saying like super high up, but think about like falling down steps or falling backwards and injured his hip and has been in the hospital, and we're not able to continue until he recovers, and it's gonna take some time. And it was just something because of the filming. He was getting this really cool shot, but it was kind of a cramped space, and he thought he had an extra step or two to back up, but there were
Oh
steps
man.
down. There were steps down, but he was so like, the lighting was perfect. The framing, the actors were doing great. He was going in, just for get one more take of it, and yeah, unfortunately those things happen. And it's really weird is that this Circus Satanicus and this Circus Satanicus experience in the movie, it kind of has had like this cursed element to it ever since we showed up. It was only supposed to rain one day. It's rained like every day that we've been here. We've had one of our actors got in a car accident 5 minutes from home on his way here. And now
Oh
he's
man.
using a different car, and the car uh, has gone completely dead and completely haywire and wouldn't start. Uh, that um, just one thing after another. One thing, and we're like, oh my gosh. You know how sometimes you hear about, have you heard about that before, Chris, where you've got, uh, where they've had horror movies in the past where there was just like, there were like bad omens on set, that kind of thing?
Like the poltergeist curse.
Like the poltergeist curse. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. In our own way, we are
Unfortunately.
actually, I can't even think of all of the examples right now, but it's been ridiculous, like one thing after another. Where just right now we're like, of course, there's just one more thing gonna happen, just a plague and the set. And so what we're planning is to hopefully come back at the end of the year. It looks like early November we might be coming back, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get it out there. So we have filmed a little bit of it, but there's a lot more to go.
So, what does that mean for you currently? Like, are you staying in Texas? Are you flying back to California? Or
Yeah, so right now, people are a lot of the actors in the, especially as of today, a lot of the actors have returned home because there's
oh
not much
man,
more for them to do. But what we're doing is we're making the most of a bad situation. There's still a lot
of
we
course.
can do for like promotional. We have these fantastic. The wardrobe is just fantastic. What we're dealing with. It's not like so. Uh, there are there's at least one character that we've seen before from Morgan Wellborn's work. He did the Helvira movies, and
Really?
yes, yes. And so this is not exactly, I wouldn't say a direct follow up, but it's somewhere in that multiverse. And there are at least two characters from the Helvira uh, world that are in Circus Satanicus, and we have a tremendous upgrade and like a reimagining, redesign of how the characters look. And this this is a horror film. This is a horror film. This is, yeah. There's bound to be some funny, ridiculous, funny situations, or where you're just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe they're doing this, or there's, it's funny. It's just like over the top ridiculous, but it's intense. It is a psychological horror film. It's getting back into the scary with this one. So
What about blood?
blood in this one, yes, there will be blood.
You don't have to say how much. I just want to know what to expect.
Yes, yes. There, yes, blood and what you would expect of injuries, injuries that arise from a blood scarring and things like that, possessions, uh, like a demonic possessions, and um,
Demonic
the way I
possessions.
like the way Morgan kind of describes it. Do you remember a few years ago that there were clown sightings? That people, they were just like odd clowns. They were like clowns that were, like, we couldn't explain them. People would just see them like in odd, like by dumpsters or in alleyways. They were just random clown sightings in the
Yeah,
woods.
and I was worried someone was gonna get hurt unintentionally.
Yes, like it was going to go too far and somebody was
Yes,
going to
yes.
hurt. And sometimes there were pranks where a clown would be like taking a sledgehammer and bashing a head in like of a dummy, but making it look real, and then chasing people with the same sledgehammer. Like they were, and that's where I thought people were going to get hurt too.
I mean, I'm down for a prank as long as nobody gets seriously hurt.
Right, right.
And
So
and that's what
that
worried me about people walking around as clowns. Is like, I get it. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
so exactly right. So with that as a backdrop, think about for Circus Satanicus, a character that's kind of into that, like he's kind of into the prankish. Oh, I'm gonna, uh, you know, I'm in. think about a character. It's like, I'm inspired by these random clown sightings. I'm going to be one of the random clown sightings. Goes into the woods and then finds that there's an actual, real, evil, malevolent force that is this ancient demonic clown that's not playing around, and it's not a prank.
Ooh. And I only say
Circus
that
Satanicus.
because there's not enough movies about scary clowns. I have to say, yeah. I mean, there's a few like It. That's the only thing I can think of. There's also Clown in a Cornfield that just came out recently. I want to really want to watch,
Yeah,
but I still
yeah, I want
don't
to see
think
that
there's
too.
enough scary clown movies. That I truly believe that, and we need more of that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
what about your character? Is that giving away too much?
Well, I can tell you that I am Stabby the Clown. I've done some promotion for it, and Stabby the Clown is the main clown.
You?
Yes. You're familiar with Stabby the Clown?
No, but I will be. And
Okay.
so I get to
So
see you
that's,
dressed as a clown.
yes, yes.
Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps.
Absolutely. Yes. In
Yeah, see,
fact, we are all right, man.
goosebumps,
I
dude,
had to put on a
goosebumps.
flannel.
So
Your
wait, I'm
goosebumps
gonna
are
see.
giving me goosebumps.
So you know what? You're dressed up as a clown in this movie. I'm looking forward to what you look like. And I thought about this before we started recording our episode. I wonder if you could pull off a good Joker cosplay. What do you think? I think you could pull it off.
Yes, yes, I think I could. Yeah, that's really, yeah. It's I think you're onto something. That's a challenge I would be willing to tackle that one and prove. I don't think it's easily done. I've seen it done very well, and I think that would just be a riot to do and to stay in character and
You could pull it off.
really.
If anyone else can, it's you. No question about
Thank
it.
you very much. Thank you. And you know what's really cool about it with Stabby the Clown is Stabby the Clown is from the Helvira movies originally, but it was kind of more of like a, yeah, Stabby the Clown, stabbing bitches. But there was a little bit where Stabby was just like over the top and kind of just a ridiculous comic relief where he's not even trying to be funny, but just he has these crazy fantasies of like torturing and what he's going to do with their corpses, and you can, you know, check out the Helvira's. There's Helvira on the Run, but then that was our short, and then there was the longer one that's Helvira's Haunted Asylum of Horror, and so there are two characters from actually both of those that are now in Circus Satanicus. And Stabby goes from like this character where he's just like a madman to something it's the voice is deeper. It's still Stabby the Clown, but the voice is deeper, and he's this eternal, like, evil presence that also manifests in the physical. And he's going after these intruders into the woods. He's going after them. They're not taking it
Oh, they're
seriously. They think it's an
intruders.
urban legend.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They're there, trying to
Oh.
have a good time or trying to promote themselves or Stabby's. They're messing with ancient forces, and they're going to be dealt with.
I guess you could say F around and find out.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Yeah, you know what? I'm already excited about this movie. You're hitting all the right bullet points at the right time. I'm genuinely now excited.
Awesome.
So I want to ask real quick, and I will, if my audience wants to contribute, is there a way to contribute? As far as perks or whatnot.
Yeah, you know what we did? We had a presence on Kickstarter with really good perks, and we got a lot of attention that way, and we raised enough so that we could do this proof of concept uh, film that is probably lengthwise between a short and a feature was the original plan. And I think what we'll have to do is in order to come back in November, we may need to raise a little bit more. And so What I would suggest is, please, anybody who's interested, please be watching for that. We're happy with Kickstarter. Kickstarter's been really good to us. They're great at promoting, projects that are getting this kind of interest, and we see where there's going to be a lot of opportunity for these perks and things to kind of come back. So I can't say for sure that there's going to be another campaign, but I would suspect that there is. And so what Morgan Wellborn's really good at promotion, and it'll be all over Facebook. So stay tuned for that, and you can follow or check out on for Dany Langston or for Morgan Wellborn. Black Pyramid Studios is Morgan Wellborn's Facebook presence for his production company,
So
and so all the
what I'll
information
do
will be
for you
there.
as a favor is that in the description of the video, I'll make sure to provide the Kickstarter link
Okay, cool, cool,
because you
awesome.
never know.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that,
But
and
well, not only just for the sake of the episode, but the fact that it's a killer clown movie, and it sounds like that. I mean, the plot you describe sounds incredible, and I don't take that lightly. Again,
awesome.
I mean, how many killer clown movies are there? Number one, and number two, how many are really good? And
Right,
this sounds incredible.
right, right. Absolutely, yeah. That's why I'm so excited about it too. It is, it's, it's dark and scary and disturbing, and entertaining. And the other characters, that's the thing that I like about it too. Morgan does a great job of creating characters that you care about and you're interested in what they're doing. So even the characters that are, the human characters, they're fun, they're entertaining. Whether even if they're bickering at each other, or even if they're just like freaking scared out of their mind, or they just witnessed some horrible thing happen to their friend. Um, there's something for everybody, and there's not a dull moment in this. And there are surprises all over the place. So it's gonna be, yeah, you're not gonna want to miss this one. So I'm really glad that you're looking forward to it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, again, not enough killer clown movies that are in excellent taste. I mean, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. In space, no one can eat ice cream. I love that. I love them both, but it's like I want more.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think you're going, and I believe you're going to deliver. And I'm not saying that just because you're here. I feel that way for real.
Oh well, thank you very much. Thank you.
My
The
pleasure.
response has been really good with, and you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say we have been filming some more promotional, like teaser material, and so please stay tuned for that. We are utilizing our time uh, as effectively as we can to at least give people a sense of what this is really going to be about. And so there's gonna be some cool stuff to see, and that'll get us through making the first one. So we don't just have to blindly wait until, okay, we finish filming, hopefully in November, and then however many months after that, we're gonna have something really, really soon for people to see, at least as a teaser, so you can start to get a real sense of this. I'm excited for you to see it.
I'm going to retract what I said about not enough killer clown movies. I still maintain that stance. And yes, recently there's been Terrifiers 1, 2, and 3. They're great, but I still want more. I want a different perspective, and I think you're going to deliver. And if you can make, and you don't have to answer this, but if you make more sequels, I welcome it.
All right. Yes. There could very likely, I wouldn't be surprised if I would not be surprised if there were. There's so much to work with here. It's like we gotta know what happens next.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? And now I'm just looking forward to the movie. That's all.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah. Me too. So
So,
that's what we're
so what
doing
else have
here.
you been
We're
work? What else have you worked on in the past?
Oh my gosh. A lot of movies that maybe you've heard of. Macabre Mountain. Are you familiar with Macabre Mountain?
No, I'll tell you what. When we're done, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna scan through your IMDb profile,
Yeah.
and then just create a watch list.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that. I went out to LA a couple years ago and filmed Crust with Sean Whalen. That was the one about like the the guy who owns a laundromat, and there's a creature. I guess it looks like a pile of socks, but it's actually that one was fun because it hit theaters. That one I actually went to a local theater and sat. I went to a late show of it and sat in the theater and watched the whole thing on the big screen.
That had to have been a treat for you.
What's that?
That had to have been a treat for you.
Very much so. It was a lot of fun. It was cool just to do it. And the best thing is like you could prance in and when you buy your ticket, oh, I'm in this or no, I just played it cool. Just played it cool. I didn't prance in and say I'm in this or whatever. When they did catch me, I took a picture of the end credits. Of course, just where it shows some of my friends that were in it, and of course my name was listed there too. And I didn't want them to think one of the guys like cleaning. They came into it was really late, so I'm sure they were wanting to get home, so they had already come in and start to clean the theater and sweep up. And I just explained to him. I said, I'm not filming the movie like a bootleg. I didn't want him to think I was bootlegging the thing. Like I held my camera. I said, "That's my name up there," and I just want to take a picture of it. That was the only. And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." But I only told him. I didn't even want to tell him. But I'd rather him know that than think that I was just over here bootlegging
Yeah,
crust.
that's one thing I
Other
can't
than that, I
stand.
just played it regular, man. Yeah.
I can't stand bootlegs because I'll say it. I'm a
Right.
quality whore.
Right. Yeah,
It's
and
it's like go ahead.
well, yeah. I think indie films have gotten so good quality wise. I'm glad you mentioned that because they used to look like camcorder. And yeah, I get it if there's like found footage, or I think some of those ideas are kind of getting a bit tiresome. But if they're done well, then all right. Anything that's done well, is definitely could get my interest. But the equipment and that people use now. You mentioned Ron Black. There are so many great directors and content creators like him, movie makers like him, Xander Goldman. These guys and so many others that I've worked with, and I love working with them because they are using top quality gear and making movies that look as good as anything that you'll see that comes out of out of the West Coast or whatever. Indie films have really grown up when it comes to the quality of the final product. I think that's something to
You'd be
really be proud of.
you'd be surprised too how much effort is put in, despite the fact it's not like a Hollywood movie, quote unquote. It's an indie movie made by fans for fans. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
And those
absolutely.
are the folks I'm more gravitated towards because the passion is there. It's not about money, within a reason maybe, but not in this case. No.
Absolutely. And going along with that, I can tell you, like think about this movie for example. We've got people in this Circus Satanicus. I came all the way in from Michigan. We have people that have come in from Kansas, from the north east, from New York, from different areas, different parts of Texas. I mean, you get the idea. And
Sure.
it's like we didn't get to do everything that we set out to do. And without ego, without malice, everybody's just like, we want to make sure Morgan's okay. He's going to be okay. We know that. All right.
Yeah, that's
Great.
important.
What can we do? And we're all just committed to come back and to make it work, to stay in touch, to stay fresh, to stay on top of our lines and everything. And it gives us time to, who knows, maybe there are even some things that will happen to change the script. And I don't even know how it could be better. But what if you know what if something gets added to it, or we do get more funding and we can make a even longer movie than anticipated. Whatever the case is, everybody's just been so wonderful with their generosity of saying, like, without a doubt, I'm absolutely coming back. We've got to get this done. The level of commitment, and like, there's no ego trips on this.
And I love that because I don't know if you talked to Ron long enough, but I worked on 3 movies so far. Uh, was it Jersey, Delaware? Well, Jersey and Delaware particularly. And I'm just a production assistant. I'm there strictly as on volunteer. I don't care about. I care about making sure I keep up with the cast and the crew to make sure they got everything they need so they can move forward accordingly. And you know what? It's like I could do this for the rest of my life and not get a dime, and I could care less.
Oh,
I don't
oh, that's
care. I
great.
don't care about money. I care about making our dreams come true. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely does. Absolutely does. And it shows. It
And you
shows
know
when
what?
people put the right things first and when they don't. And what you just said is that is the absolute best approach.
I
It's
mean, if
it's
there's
the
problem,
work.
if there's problems, de-escalate, diffuse the situation. I'm good for putting out fires personally. So it's like, look, whatever it takes to move forward. That's all I care about. I mean, there were a couple of hiccups on the Swine and Dime, but it's like, okay, we'll take care of it, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Not going to
Yeah.
say anything specific, just I don't want to mention names or anything, but you see hiccups,
No. Okay. Yeah, and
you
that
know.
can happen. But dealing with it, like, that's a real gift to be able to deal with that. Diffuse the situation, move on, and keep going, keep getting it done, keep working to that goal. I do believe in taking the work seriously, but it
Yes.
doesn't mean that we take ourselves seriously to the point uh, where we forget what's important, or where there's a big ego trip or something like that. So taking the work seriously, that's what it's about. Doing something right for the fans, not letting the fans down.
Not only that, but also to make sure everybody else is like taking care of each other. That's also important.
Yep.
So someone, okay, you're having a bad day. What can I do to help? Okay, well,
Yeah.
this isn't lined properly. Show me how to readjust.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yep.
I mean, I'm I'm a PA on the side for my friends for their projects. I got my I got my podcast here. My YouTube channel is slowly starting to grow. So, um, and inevitably, I'm going to do more than just the podcast, and I'm going to do like live streams and video game reviews and things like that. So, you're obviously into horror movies. Are you into horror video games by any chance?
I am not. I am not into horror video games. But I guess maybe it's just lack of exposure to horror video games. Um, it's not where I have surveyed the terrain and said not for me. It could very well be for me. I haven't come across horror video games very much. I've seen a few, uh, but uh, anyway, no, I like what I see. I just uh, haven't seen much. Haven't seen much and haven't gotten into.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're interested and you want to get your feet wet, give me a call.
Okay, awesome.
Because I've been watching horror movies as long as I've been playing horror video games. It's one of one of my favorite things in life is just those two things, especially if you put them together. It's all the better. So again,
Right.
I know you're busy. You're making movies. You're living the dream, but I'm always around.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I will definitely take you up on that. I want to. You seem. I totally get the sense that you're the guy. You're the guy to to learn from, to get immersed into that, and to learn the ropes. So
Because I'm the type of
I'd
guy
love to
who's
do
like, I'll get you where you need to go. So don't worry about it. And have fun in the
that.
process. I'm not here to bust your chops. That's not what I do. It's like, okay, so let's try this instead. If you want to bust your own
Right.
chops, that's one thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure, no worries. So, how'd you meet Xander Goldman? How did that come around?
I met Xander Goldman through a friend of mine, Daniel John Kearney. Are you familiar with Dan Kearney?
I'm afraid not yet. Anyway,
Not yet. Okay.
not yet.
Yeah. So I did a movie called Dark Circles. It was pretty early on. It was so I'm probably in about my fifth year of acting in movies. And early on, I did a movie called Dark Circles, and it's just now coming out. There was just, I think, some delays, and that was a lot of fun because I had a small role in that movie, but I got cussed out in the movie by Terry Kaiser. Terry Kaiser played Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh no
If
way!
you've heard, yes, yes. And you know what's really cool is I met him in Kansas City in July of that year as a fan, and I had a full size Bernie, and he was in a wheelchair, and I pushed him around, and I had the Hawaiian shirt, so I was playing Larry, one of the guys, and I'm pushing Bernie around and talking to him, and Terry Kaiser was there, and it was like a dream come true to meet him. I wanted to meet him for the longest time, and he loved it. Got a picture of him with Bernie and me, and anyway, that was fast forward 2 months later. I'm in a movie with the guy. I never would have thought that that would happen. That it's just something that came about very kind of unexpectedly, and there he is on set just 2 months after. Like I never thought I'd see him again. Like I didn't have to. Like my life had been fulfilled, sort of thing. And not only on set with him, but actually got to be in a scene where he's a college professor. We actually filmed at a college, and I was the librarian. And all I do is I pop my head and I say, "Hey, keep it down. This is the library. Keep it down." And he's this grumpy, you know, just he's fed up with life, and he just improved and he cussed me out. We probably did about a dozen takes of it, and he cussed me out about a dozen times, and each one was just better and it just better than the last. And he did like a spit take, cuss me out, and he's like, he's just like barking, F you, shut the F up, don't tell me what the F to do. And it's, think about a college professor who's grumpy, has been around too long, he's had it too good for too long, he's got tenure, you can't fire him. He's just gonna tell you what he thinks. And he was so good in that. Even though he's like the nicest guy in real life, he was so good at that. So after we filmed, I said, he remembered. I showed him the picture because I know he meets a lot of people. I showed him the picture. I said, he said, oh yeah, that was you. I said, that was the greatest day of my life. Now it's been replaced by the opportunity to work with you. So that was that was really really cool. So in that movie, I met Daniel John Kearney. He was one of the producers, and he's a fantastic actor. He was in the movie as well, and we exchanged information. And he did a lot to connect me with other people and tell me about different opportunities and say, well, get in touch with this person, and you know whatever it takes to. So one thing led to another, and if you fast forward about a year or so, Daniel John Kearney introduced me to Xander Goldman, where we were in a meeting like this virtually, and then
Mm-hmm.
something happened, and Dan had to get going, and he just loved Xander and me. It's like he was our common friend. And after not very long, Dan had to leave the meeting. He had it's just something like a legitimate, putting the kids to bed or something like that. So he's like, "Oh, guys, I got to duck out, but you guys keep talking." And that could be really awkward. Like we just met. Like, what do we talk about? Like our common friend is the glue that's holding us together. What do we talk about now? It was not awkward at all. Uh, Dan, we're like, "Oh, hey, okay, talk to you later, Dan. Good night." And you don't know what's gonna happen, and it was just Xander and me, and we just got talking, and it was like an instant friendship, instant connection. And he sent me a link of something that he was in because I told him where I live. He's, "Oh, I filmed something where I was a pilot, and we were flying over that. Oh yeah, let me send it to you." And we were just like, we just hit it off. We lost track of time. We went way over, and so that's where our friendship started, is just by kind of being abandoned by our common friend in a Zoom meeting, basically, and just hitting it off right away. And so that Macabre Mountain movie was the first time that I got to work with him, but I've worked with him a number of times since, and just there are people that you meet where you're like, it doesn't get much better than this.
Exactly. So
And
whatever you do, do not stop working for Xander or with Xander.
do not stop working for Xander. I would say Morgan Wellborn and Xander Goldman. And there are others, there are others where you just say, okay, whatever they're doing, I'm going to do anything possible to work with them. My friend Lisa Hines is doing a great, I'm so excited for her. She's doing a movie called Order of the V uh, that they're going to be filming this fall. And it's starting to get a little bit of, they're doing so great rolling it out. And I have a conflict. I'm not able to be part of that, but don't you just love it when your friends are doing well and when they're venturing out and not just acting anymore, but she wrote this and she's part of the creative team bringing it about. And so just when things like that happen, you just keep these people close to you and hope that some of their genius rubs off, because they're just fantastic people and great to be around.
I love listening to your stories because they're so inspiring. I have to say,
Oh, thank you.
I thank you because again, I'm up and coming. I don't know where this is going to go, and you're telling me your story, and it's like if you could do it, I could do it. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And and I appreciate that because I'm inspired all the time when people are just doing the right thing. You meant we've some. I really like that Ron Black has had a presence in our conversation. He deserves to have a presence in our conversation.
Yes,
I notice one thing about him, that he will jump at any chance to help people.
yes.
Being around him, yeah, yeah.
So is Chris. So is Chris.
So is so is Chris. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I work for them on Swine and Dine, and I figured, well, I'm probably never going to hear from them again until probably the premiere. I was wrong, and I'm glad I was because next thing you know, it's like, hey, I'm starting a podcast, and they're asking me what's going on with the podcast, this and this, because I'm having insecurities, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to lighting and video, and you name it. And I finally solved all the problems, and Chris was the one who helped. I have a light right there that I paid $80 for off Amazon. It's professional, and you can see how the quality for yourself. And I got a ring light here to try to counterbalance, the left side of my face because this one's super bright, this one isn't so much, but it worked. Uh, but Chris was here to help me, set up, and then we finally figured it out. And then Ron said to me, "Is like, you're part of the family now. Whatever you need, you call me." I'm like, "What, are you serious?" And here I am coming off as being naive, but I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yes." And guess what? With the swine and dine, he said, "Hey, come work with me on my table." Okay. I thought that was going to be it. Instead, he was like, halfway through the day, "Chris, come with me. And I meet you."
That's great.
And then I meet you,
Good
and I
to
meet
love it.
Xander, and I meet all these awesome people. And it's like,
Yeah.
that day was like one of the happiest days of my life.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is so great. Yeah, and over where we were, we've got Felissa Rose. Her table is to the left of ours. Robert Muse's table is to the right, and they were both involved with Crimson Harvest, and just just the togetherness of it, the strength of friendship. And you know what? We had spent like 10 days together, at least the better part of a week. For some of us, people come and go or show up at different times. We're not sick of each other. We went to a con and we spent the weekend at the con. Like we just couldn't get enough of hanging around each other and laughing and just telling stories and having new experiences and just it just when you're with the right people, just there's not a dull moment. It just never gets old. You don't want to leave.
And you look forward to the next time.
Yeah, you do. You
So,
do.
Ron has some stories about the weekend. What are yours?
Oh, from the weekend. Well, I'm sure. So here's
Because
where I messed up.
Ron was bragging about how he was hanging out with Alex Vincent from Child's Play, the Chucky
Uh
TV
huh.
series. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I'm not upset. I'm shocked, but in a good way. Anyways,
Oh, I had a fantastic time. they had I don't know if you know the movie Annie from 1982, Orphan Annie, you know, and they had two of the actresses who were the orphan girls with Annie, you know, and so I grew up watching that show because I have an older sister, and so she would watch it, and so that was really cool. And Annie has, I mean, Tim Curry is in that movie. For people who don't know, the great Tim Curry is in Annie, playing a villain, of
And
course.
he's been in movies like It or Home Alone, just to name a couple, or Clue.
Yes,
Clue.
Clue, the butler. Yes, it could have ended this way.
So sidetrack real quick about the movie Clue. I love the ending because it's up to the audience. Who do you think is the killer, and what weapon did they use?
Oh my gosh.
I
Well,
like that.
I've
It's like
seen.
let the audience figure it out.
Yeah, let the audience figure it out. And I have that movie, and I really, when I play it, I put it on the random ending setting, where it's at least it's one of three, and you don't know which one they're gonna do. And I believe when it hit theaters in the mid '80s, that's how they ran it in theaters. That there were different versions of the movie, so you'd go back and watch it again, and it could be a different ending. So if somebody tried to say, "Well, Colonel Mustard's the killer," they didn't spoil it for their friend necessarily, because they could go to the movie and find that it was Professor Plum, or it was uh, who was the Scarlet, the what was her name? Oh, the actress Leslie. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I'm
I
blanking on
know
the
who you're
names.
talking
Was
about.
there a Scarlet something in there? One of the characters, one of the female. Anyway,
I
but
think
you could
Christopher
find.
Lloyd was in
So
that movie too.
say it again, please.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd was in that movie.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah, just great, great movie. They show up, they don't know why they're there, like they're being blackmailed. Yeah, just great. So it's really smart. Think about making a movie like Clue, and you're just gonna have one freaking loudmouth ruin it for everybody and say that's the killer. I love how they outsmarted the spoilers by making different alternate endings to where somebody thinks they're spoiling it for you. You're gonna see a different movie. You're gonna see a different ending. Uh, you know, likely. You know, and when you go back, it could be different still,
That's
depending on the
smart.
rotation. Yes, very very smart.
Very smart.
So
So back
that's
to
what I love.
your awesome weekend a couple weeks ago. So who'd you hang out with?
Yeah, so hung out with obviously with Felissa Rose and Robert Bukes, and with the awesome Crimson Harvest family at our table. Um, I met the orphans from Annie, met a lot of
Very
really
cool.
cool vendors, and then I went to the pet cemetery section. Did you mosey on over to the pet cemetery section
I was
where
busy
they
working the
had?
table at Swine and Dine.
Okay, yeah. Um, they had from the original Pet Cemetery from the late '80s. So they had Miko Hughes there, who plays the little boy from Pet Cemetery.
Who was also in Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yes, yes, he was. Yes, you're right. They had the guy who played Zelda. This the He played Zelda, the sister with the spinal meningitis. Says like, "I'm coming to get you, Rachel." So he was there, and he was so down to earth and so awesome. And then they had the guy who played Pascal from the movie, who's kind of this. Well, I guess people know who Pascal is from the movie. But anyway, so he was there, and you know what? Just going around and talking to people and seeing what everyone's offering. I saw uh, Sean Donahue. Sean Donahue's a filmmaker from Florida, so they had their team. They were promoting Swamp Woman, and so that was really cool. That was really cool to see them. And Sushi Savette Holder is a friend of mine, and to be able to see her, and just uh, I'll tell you what. My very first horror movie con. It was in Lexington, Kentucky. Doesn't really matter, but that's where it was.
Mhm.
And as soon as I walked in, I was like, "I'm with my people. This is where I belong. I'm with my people. And that was exactly the feeling. Everybody I talked to, people would come up and he was like, hey, nice jacket, or can I get a picture? Or I'd ask them, can I get a picture with you? Usually it went that way. It just instant connection and talking about their project and learning about what they do, what they're selling. I I go there and I just know I'm with my people.
The best thing about going to a con like that, you never know who's going to be there,
Yeah,
and you never know who you're going to connect with either.
yeah, yep,
Full of
yep,
surprises.
yep, yep. That
So
is
that's what
exactly.
you hung up. Did you get a chance? Well, no, you were there. Hunt Chase Kill premiere or screening.
Yeah, I
You were
watched
there.
it. Yes.
I was there. I saw you
Yeah,
in your
Paul's my.
red jacket.
Yeah, the red jacket. That's right.
I was
And of
sitting on
course,
the
I had
floor
to wear
stretching my
that for
legs. I needed
Crimson.
it.
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all right. No, it was like I saw you sitting on one of the chairs with your red jacket. I think you were just a few seats from Ron. I was sitting behind you guys on the floor, stretching my legs, and just reacted to the movie in my head, not out loud, obviously, because it's like, oh, you don't want, oh no, oh, no, you don't want to, you that's a bad idea. No, no, stop. I feel with your with Crimson Harvest and that other movie, was a Circus Satanicus.
Circus Satanicus. Yes.
Yes, same thing. I'm just if I'm watching, obviously with people, I'm just gonna react in my head quietly. Like, no, we don't want to do that because I when I grew up on started watching horror movies, I grew up with the idea of there has to be a lesson to be learned here. Like Friday the 13th, for instance, just don't go to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Halloween, just don't be related to them.
Don't be. Just don't be ruined.
If you see a cabin that's similar to Evil Dead, don't go in it.
Don't go in it. Freddy, don't fall asleep.
What?
With the Nightmare
What
on
was
Elm
that?
Street, don't fall asleep is the moral of the story.
In Springwood, Ohio, don't want to fall asleep.
Okay, yes, if you're like the descendant of one of the people that that killed Freddy Krueger.
Heaven help your soul. Heaven help your soul. Yeah, but don't fall asleep in Springwood, Ohio. That's.
Okay, that's fair. I can do it. Good. That's good for the rest of us.
But you get the idea, though, of where my approach is with horror movies, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to be doing the same thing with what is it, Circus Satanicus. It's like I'm trying to figure out what these people are going to do and why they're doing it, and it's like, no, 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 no. You don't want to do that. Oh, come on, you're. What did I? That's how I'm going to react in my head. So,
I like it. Good. Good.
and most likely we're going to have a follow up episode when your movie comes out because I want to talk about it without spoilers, of course.
Yes. Absolutely. There's going to be so much more to say at that time. Uh, we've got a fantastic location. There's so much. Oh, it's just absolutely perfect. So much to do with it. Just hundreds of acres and some real scary woods. Just don't you love it when the atmosphere is also like a character? Have you ever
Yes,
seen that? There's a movie called
yes,
Identity where the rain, it just rained the whole movie, and the rain was like a character. In The Shining, the snow is like a character. In
oh
Fargo,
yeah.
the snow is like a character. The atmosphere is a character when it's done right, and I think Circus Satanicus offers that as well.
You just pitched another idea about like okay, how do you avoid the same fate as The Shining? One, don't be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Don't be an alcoholic
Uh huh.
because you're eventually going to go mad.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I,
And if you quit the bottle, don't go wandering into the gold ballroom and start drinking with ghosts and rekindle that the hair of the dog that bit you.
you know, I see that scene and I'm like, it's like no, no, no. Other movies are like that too. Here's a classic. Was it House on Haunted Hill? But then I watched the remake from 1999, and have you ever seen it?
House on Haunted Hill. I've seen the original. That's with Vincent Price, isn't it?
Right.
Yes, I've seen only the original from I think 1958, but I haven't seen the remake.
Well, if you ever watch the remake, there is a scene that makes you go. I still watch that scene. I still get the goosebumps.
Really?
Yes, it's a rare occurrence where a movie could do that to you. But I'm not going to
Wow.
spoil it. If you watch it, get back with me, and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
So, is there anything else you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, definitely. There's just there are a few things on the horizon besides. So after this, I'm going to LA, and there's a new movie called Trash's Revenge. It's part of the Return of the Living Dead universe,
Ooh, ooh.
and it's got the original cast, at least those that are still with us. And so I'm fortunate enough that I will be out in LA filming with them, and I will be interacting with. I'll be interacting with them on camera and to be on set. And so just another great blessing to experience. And so we'll, the next time around, maybe we can talk about that a little bit more, but I think we're going to see a lot more promotion. That's a movie that I think has been a long time coming, and you really don't have to explain to too many people what Return of the Living Dead is all about. And this one is canon. This one is sanctioned by the powers that be. So just super excited to go to LA and be a part of it. So that's going to be in about a month.
So do us both a favor and don't shame me because I haven't seen the Return of the Living Dead movies. I'm still catching up on the
Oh,
Dead series from George Romero, to be honest.
okay. Yes. Yeah.
I'm late to the
So,
party, yes, but as long as I catch up, who cares?
so you know, like
People can
it's
put punch off
split.
all they want. Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, when you get, we'll know when the time is right to rap about that. At least if you've seen the first Return of the Living Dead, there were a number of sequels after that, and they're okay. They start off. There are some good moments in each of them, but that that Return of the Living Dead from the mid '80s, I think it was '85.
I
Uh,
think so too.
just a classic sort of raunchy zombie film, but there's just something about it you gotta love.
And I will just add that to the watch list. But first, I'm gonna look up your IMDb profile and just create a playlist of all of your movies, so we have much more to talk about.
Awesome,
And then,
awesome,
of course, this although this is your first episode, not your last. You can
awesome.
be on here as often as you want.
Well, I will take you up on that as well. I'm enjoying it a great deal. I've enjoyed spending time with you, and again, I feel a very just natural friendship connection. You're just so easy to talk to. We've got a lot in common, and uh, I like that we have a lot to share with each other. In
Yes,
terms of outlook, I really appreciate you sharing with me your approach to movies and stuff, because there is a right way to approach things that if it works for you and it makes a lot of sense, it's like that's like the when you get the most out of the experience. And so I love learning about things like that.
I appreciate that. I mean, I don't see the point of trying to hide anything. Just be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I admitted that I haven't watched Return of the Living Dead. I told you that. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to
Right.
pretend it's something I don't know. You know, that's not what's up.
There are so many movies now. Do you know, like, I I read somewhere that when Back to the Future came out in 1985,
Yes.
like it was the only movie that opened that weekend. And I think like the next weekend and maybe the weekend after, there was like nothing else that really opened up. Like it wasn't the only movie playing, but it was like the newest movie playing. And so it like didn't have a lot of competition. You know what I mean? Like that's, but nowadays there are so many things being thrown at us. There are so many, we don't have just three or four network channels. There are so many avenues and services, and there's so much to get caught up on what's going on now, what's happened before. So in a lot of conversations, I'm the guy who hasn't seen the movie that they're talking about, and that's right. You just say, I haven't seen it yet. You add it to the list and you get around to it when you can. Uh, and,
Exactly.
and, that is definitely one to check out. And uh, any recommendations along the way that you have for me, I will gladly receive those recommendations and check those out, because that means a lot when people I respect recommend a movie. It's like, okay, that's going to be worth my while.
No question about it. In fact, um, my day job is supposed to grant me a week of staycation, so I'll probably be binge watching your movies just to catch
Oh,
up.
nice. All right. Congratulations.
It's I haven't taken vacation this year, and my employer is like, we know, we're working on it. You've been patient, we appreciate it. We're working as best as we can. Okay, and it's gonna be
Mhm.
soon, sometime next month, and then I'll be binge watching your movies just to start.
Cool.
I
All
still gotta watch
right.
that one movie you autographed for me, which thank you by the way.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yep, you're very welcome. So I'm anxious to hear your feedback on that, what you think, hear what you liked about it or anything like that. So,
Expect within the next few days, and I'll text you.
cool. Awesome.
All right, man. Anything else before we go?
I want to thank you for having me on here. You're a
Absolute
man of
pleasure.
your word, and thank you for honoring my lucky number 3 that haunts me. It is a great privilege and honor to be with you as the third of many guests on your podcast. Congratulations to you on pursuing this podcast and doing such a great job at it. I am definitely
Thank you
going
very much.
to be a constant follower of your work because I do enjoy it.
And like I said, might be your first, not your last.
Cool. Look forward to
And
the
we'll have
next one.
plenty to talk about. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I will be, airing episodes of the podcast. This is episode 3, and so next week will be episodes 4 and 5. So you won't know who's on the podcast unless you tune in.
That's right. I like it. I'll be tuning in.
Sounds good, man. If you need anything, text me. Okay.
Will do. Will do.
All
And
right, man.
likewise.
You take care of yourself.
Thanks so much. You too. I'll see
You're
you.
welcome.
See you around.
Safe travels, please.
Okay. Will do. Absolutely.
All right, man.
Absolutely.
Be
We'll talk soon.
safe.
You
All
got
right.
it.
Bye.
Bye bye.